About 2 months ago, we started our investment series. This is our chart, and today we're adding another 50 bucks. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is active duty cases, because these are actually going to be very important for our investment today. We're not going to say yes or no if we're buying anything, but I do want to point out that active duty cases have been on a pretty significant decrease as of lately, which is something that's going to be very crucial as we focus on into today's episode. Case unboxing numbers are also going to be quite important for a couple specific cases we're going to focus on in a quick second. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, when it comes to rare cases, I think we could potentially be sitting right on the edge of them starting to pick up quite significantly. We already talked about how most of the rare cases have recovered to a pretty decent amount. If we want to look at a lot of the graphs, you saw there was a major dip. A lot of them have rebounded at this point, and we're starting to see them slightly stagnate out. However, going back to this chart, which you might have seen before, we can see that we're starting to once again decrease down in the deficit. Once again, the deficit is growing, which means people are unboxing significantly more cases than are being dropped, which is why, as part of today's video, we are going to be picking up some cases, just because I think right now the price point is very advantageous, because we mentioned a lot of them have recovered, but they're starting to stagnate out a little bit, which is potentially a really good time to buy. If we look on the horizon, we see a lot of things that could potentially really positively impact a lot of cases, at least in my opinion, which is why I'm going to be springing on a couple of these. And even though the case numbers are sitting a little bit on the lower side right now, that's not something I'm completely worried about, because as long as they keep on decreasing or keep on opening up a ton of cases, I'm not really too concerned with that. Over a million a month for a couple of the rare cases is a really good metric, and I would love to keep it that way. However, there's some things I don't really love right now, and that's going to be the Paris stickers. Now, there's actually a couple different reasons for this. The first of which is we're starting to see some people trying to artificially increase the price of specific stickers. This is a really dumb thing to do, and people in this position should obviously know their size and influence and try to not pump stickers. I mean, it's not that hard. It's the reason why I don't specifically give out sticker investments, is because I could go ahead and influence a specific sticker, but that just doesn't really make sense. It's not a good look for me. It doesn't really benefit anyone who hasn't invested into it before I did that, and that's really scummy of a thing to do as a creator, to do that and then pick up some of them. However, a lot of these stickers were already quite expensive as it is. In a previous video, we talked about how Paris hollows were really expensive, and if we want to look at the Challenger sticker capsule now, it's gotten over 10% higher for the hollow price, averaging about $5.06 currently, which is a crazy high amount for the hollow stickers, not only in any capsule, but especially one that's 25 cents and has an infinite amount out there. It's a really interesting predicament. The reason Antwerp hollows were so beneficial to invest in is because they went down to such a cheap price point that it made sense. But if we want to look at the hollows here, they're really expensive, and that's something that's quite obvious on the surface, but I don't think people realize how much of like a statistical anomaly this is. The fact that we've got capsules at 104% ROI is extremely odd, because we don't have that in the entirety of CSGO. However, what this does is it makes the capsules a really appealing investment, and we're actually going to be buying up some capsules, and we're going to be doing a different spread than what I did for my overall investment, because we're really looking to make a lot of profit here. But for this one, it really makes the capsules so appealing, because a lot of these stickers are extremely expensive, and most likely they're not going to drop to zero overnight. They're probably going to sustain a decent amount of demand, especially if they're the ones that are actually being applied. I'll be completely honest when I say it's hard for me to not act like this is super absurd, but it's also hard for me to not act like this is the best thing that has happened for capsule investing in a significant amount of time. This is so much hype and so much demand going into the mid-sale that we have never seen before, and that's a really, really good thing for capsule investors, because that has the possibility for capsules to absolutely pop off, like we saw with Stockholm, where we saw capsules be removed from the shop and then they absolutely exploded over the next couple days. That's exactly what is the possibility to happen right here, because soon as the supply is cut off, if the demand remains the same, which is extremely high right now, the capsules have the possibility to grow significantly quicker than what we saw with Antwerp or something else. Now, that's obviously very dependent on the supply, and we don't know the supply, and we obviously don't know if the demand is going to remain the same either, but it's such an interesting situation. To go along with that, I'm really excited for the next upcoming months, because the CSGO market is in a perfect position right now. We're seeing cases completely stagnant, which is exactly what we want to see, because we just rebounded from a decrease, and we don't want to see them absolutely explode because that's probably going to be extremely artificial. However, with so many great events on the horizon and really large people starting to pick up and bring influence into CSGO, you can see what happened with the Chroma 2 case because the Dr. Disrespect went ahead and opened an M9 Sapphire. So many people coming into CSGO with such a large influence has such a big possibility to bring such an influence into the game. We got CSGO potentially going to Shanghai. There's so many events on the horizon that I think are going to be so beneficial. Now, fortunately, our investments have panned out really well, except for one specific thing, and that's the filler skins. I made a mistake in picking up some filler skins at that current price. I paid almost $1.50 each, and now they're about $1.10. But the thing is, this is why diversification is so important. Because we invested into the Antwerp capsules of the contenders, we've made almost $5 there, which is significantly more than the loss we had on our filler skins. But getting into what we're specifically picking up this episode, the majority of our budget, about $30, is going to be spent on Paris capsules. This is going to give us 120 capsules, and we're only investing into 4 different capsules. The first 3 are probably quite obvious. These are the team logo capsules: 30 contenders, 30 challengers, and 30 legends. These ones just make sense because we're even seeing hype right now with the Stockholm and Antwerp capsules, just because Paris is so off the charts right now, and everything we just previously mentioned with the hype being in the stickers right now makes no sense to invest into stickers, so we want to go with the regular team capsules. However, the remaining 30 capsules, we're going with the contenders autograph. That's because if we look at Antwerp, see that the one capsule that outperformed the rest of them when it comes to autograph is the one that had the rocks hollow, and this contenders autograph capsule has it all. It's got the top 3 most expensive hollows, and it's just got a lot of desirable stickers even at those lower levels. After that, we talked about the active duty cases in the beginning, and this is where it's important because we're picking up 14 clutch cases. Now, the clutch case is a really interesting predicament because it's very dependent on the revolution case in some aspects, or some people like to believe. In my personal opinion, I think the clutch case definitely has a future ahead of it. However, if we want to look at the total supply of clutch cases out there, it's massive. It's the biggest inside of the entirety of CSGO, only rivaled by the fracture case. And this is very important because this means that the clutch case is going to have a very long road ahead of it. However, when we compare it to the other price point cases around its area, I think the clutch case definitely stands out as being one of the most desirable, only rivaled by a couple different ones. And finally, the last case we're picking up is going to be $10 worth of the Prisma 2 case. Now, we've got some Prismas already, so I wanted to spice it up and go with some Prisma 2 cases. For this one, I just think it makes the most sense because when we look at the Prisma 2 case, right now it is currently sitting in a better position than the Prisma 1 case in terms of the demand it has for unboxing. ROI goes to the Prisma 1, but we've already got some Prisma 1s, and we want to make sure we're not just putting all of our money into one singular case because we want to have a spread all across the board. But that's all I got. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.